We're going to first of all start with what's happening in the country's courts at the moment, and it's the biggest court case in the country at the moment. And some people I see on social media saying if they hadn't seen this on television, it would have been difficult for them to believe it actually happened. Of course, we're talking about the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial as well. Another very dramatic day in court yesterday, even seeing a little bit of an altercation between the witness and, of course, the prosecution as well. So let's head back to Slindelo Masikane, who's been following this all for us. And Slee, it is a little bit difficult to try and keep track of all the drama in the court. So let's just, I think if we can, in one bubble, let's try and bring everyone up to speed. What came out of court yesterday?
Like you've said, Gareth, never a dull day in the North Gauteng High Court with this particular trial. Yesterday we saw what was a doc identification by Tumelo Madlala. That is, of course, the state's third witness, one of 7 people who were in the house on the night Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed. This is someone who was very close to Senzo, his best friend. They grew up together, they went to school together, and he, for the past couple of days, has been telling us what he knows or what he remembers about that fateful evening on the 26th of October 2014. Now, for most of the week, we've been hearing his evidence in chief in terms of being led by the state. And one of the last few questions that came out yesterday was this doc identification, where the state asked Tumelo Madlala to then point out, of the 5 men in the doc, who he remembers to be one of the alleged intruders. This is what he had to say.
Mr. Madlala, if you can perhaps state or inform the court who is this person that made you uncomfortable.
Yes, this man with the blue t-shirt or green t-shirt. He's the one that was held by Senzo. Sorry? He's the one who had the beard that was cut or shaved.
Cross-examinations also fascinating to watch as well, the amount of detail the questions are requiring from the witnesses as well. Slee, let's talk about those cross-examinations. How did those play out?
So we saw the start of cross-examination by the defense. First up is TT Tobane for accused 1 to 4, who's already posing questions and picking up inconsistencies in terms of what Madlala has said in court and what he said in what we believe to be several statements that he's made around the incident. In court, for example, in court, Tumelo Madlala has been consistent in saying that he's not sure of times and dates. He doesn't really want to commit to those because he can't really remember, but in one of his statements that he made of the incident, he does pinpoint exact times in terms of how events played out on that day, on the 26th of October. Also, what Tobane picked up was the fact that Madlala in court had said that he called Senzo's brother Fiso from the hospital in one of his statements in court, but he then turned around during cross-examination and gave another location in terms of where he called his Fiso. He had originally said it was at the hospital, but then changed his mind and said that no, actually it was at the house, according to what he remembers. So some inconsistencies are already playing out in court, but also Tobane has been testing exactly how close Meyiwa was to Madlala, actually posing one question in terms of how what he knew about Meyiwa's relationships, and Tobane alleging that in fact Meyiwa did have relations or sexual relations with another Khumalo sister. Let's take a listen.
That witness will come and testify that at the end, Senzo ended up having a relationship with Zandi as well. He had sexual relationship with Zandi because Kelly has been away for a long time.
Kwaloyo fakazi ke uzoza azotshela inkantolo ke ukuthi egcineni ke kwase kwenzeka ke ukuthi uSenzo aseqhubeka esethandana ke naye ke uZandi, futhi ke kwase elala kanye naye ke uZandi ngenxa yokuthi ke uKelly ebengekho isikhathi eside.
Angeke ngakuphika lokho, angeke ngakuvuma because ngiyamazi uSenzo. Bewathanda amantombazana.
I would never deny that. I would never admit to that because I know that Senzo love women.
And Slee as well, we were talking about all the details, and one of the most detailed line of questioning has been about what actually happened in the house. We've seen diagrams coming up on the screen, little laser pointers being used to describe where everybody was in the house as well. And I see Tabane is spending a lot of time asking for more details about what exactly happened inside the house that night. What did he have to say?
Yeah, because, you know, let's not forget we've got two dockets at play here. Yes, the 5 men on trial are being prosecuted in terms of docket 636 that alleges that they were the intruders or had something to do with Senzo Meyiwa's shooting. But there's this docket 375 that's put a spanner in the works, and the scenario that I see Tobani putting to Tumelo Madlala is the one in docket 375 that alleges that there were never any intruders and that the gunshot that went off in the house came from somebody who was in the house. So that is the scenario he's now putting to Madlala in court, saying that there will be witnesses to come and testify to that effect. Let's take a listen.
Kelly wanted to give the firearm to the deceased.
Ayikho leyo nto amanga lawo.
Do you mind to wait for me to finish and wait for the interpreter? What have changed now? That's when a shot went off and hit the deceased at close range.
Chike u Kelly ke wayesefuna unikezela isibhamu asidlulise kuyena ke umufi ila khona ke sasesiphuma khona ke isibhamu eseduze kakhulu.
Ayikaze yenzeke leyo.
That thing never happened. That never happened.
Maphuma isibhamu bengekho lo longendlini because waphuma wabaleka yena.
When the firearm went off, Longwe was not in the house because he ran out.
Okay. So you agree with me that Longwe ran out after the firearm was taken away from him? That's what I'm putting to you. Now you agree that Longwe ran out?
Ingabe ke manje uyavumelana nami uma ngithi uLongwe wabaleka emuva kokuthi isibhamu saphucwa kuyena.
Amanga lawo.
Those are lies.
Then you yourself, you phoned Senzo Meyiwa to say Senzo Meyiwa was shot by mistake. You never said there was a robbery.
All right, thank you so much, Slindelo Masikane, following through with those details and developments coming out of court during the Senzo Meyiwa trial.